There it is.
What?
You can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, they couldn't hear me before? Oh, my gosh. I just wasted all of that because of you? Wow. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. So glad to have you here. If you can hear me, by all means, please type a VV Nation in the room to let me know that VV Nation is here, starting off the beginning of the year with the first Trending Thursday of the year. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you're new here, let me know that you're new. My challenge to you this year to help us to grow the channel is when you come to Trending Thursday, invite a friend. Invite a friend. And thank you for that, Michael. Invite a friend. We want to get more people out there seeing the VectorVest platform. Let them make a decision for themselves whether or not they want to join the channel or even take out a subscription to a trial subscription. But invite a friend. All right, and I'm going to push that theme all year. Again, welcome. What is the Trending Thursday all about? It's all about looking at stocks making the news, but we go through the power of the VectorVest software to really dig down into if these are stocks that you should buy or stay away from. All right, so we do that every Thursday at 2 o'clock, as you can see here, right here on YouTube. It is a live stream. I am live. I'm pinching myself. I'm live and direct. Sitting side saddle to me is Joey. He is my producer. Say hi, Joey.
Hi.
Hey, that was a nice hi today. Joey doesn't always give a nice hi. A lot of times he's grumpy, but he's going to start off the year, new Joey. So. Again, thank you all for being here. I know we've taken off the last 2 weeks because of Christmas and for New Year's, but we're back in full force, baby. We are back in full force. We're going to make it happen. All right, we always start off the session.
Talk about the giveaway.
Oh, thank you, Joey. Got to talk about the giveaway. We are giving away a Tampa 2-day seminar. All right. The thing is that it is live streamed this year. So many of you who may be sitting on the fence, you're going to all have an opportunity to win a seat at the Tampa 2-day. I think it's $295 for the Tampa 2-day. Somebody's going to get it for free. All right. So chat it up in the room, folks. You got to type Tampa. Got to type Tampa into the room in order to be considered for the drawing for a free Tampa 2-day, all right? Now, the only people I want to have typing Tampa are the people who have not already signed up for it. If you've already signed up for it and you win, guess what? You don't win. I'm trying to give it away to somebody who hasn't signed up for the Tampa 2-day, all right? And it's our way of saying thank you for joining us here on Trending Thursday and supporting the channel. If you haven't already, please hit the like button if you like the content today. But bigger than that, subscribe to the channel. You will always ring the bell icon so that you can be alerted to all of the new content as it comes out. This is what we do, folks, and hopefully it works out very well for you. Now, if you're looking for all the hot stocks to buy, this ain't the place for it. We will analyze stocks here in the VectorVest software. It will help you all make decisions. And at the end, I will give an opportunity to look at some of your stocks as well and use the power of the VectorVest software to do that. All right. With that, we always start off with market overview. What's going on in the market to help you, whether you're new to the software or someone who's been around with the software a long time, help you to understand what's going on in the current market conditions and how to trade it. So we're going to start off with the home page. Is this the right one, Joey, or this one? This one?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with what's going on our homepage. For those of you who may be brand new, this is the VectorVest software, all right? VectorVest has been around for 30 years, over 30 years, trying to help people make money in the market. Because we've been around that long, we must be doing something right. And if you ask a lot of the VV Nation in this room, they'll tell you the software works for them. Is everybody in this room making money? I'm going to venture and say no. But are the majority of the people in the market in this room making money? Ask them. All right, all my VV Nation people, talk to the people who are brand new. Let them know what you think about the software. It's one thing to hear me say it, but it's another thing to hear a current subscriber talk about the software themselves. All right, I think it has a little bit more validity than just coming from the person who works with VectorVest. All right, so As we open up the home page, we always say that it's laid out like the front page of your newspaper, where market timing is always the headline story. Here's our market timing gauge. Every day this changes along with what's going on in the market. Today, the color guard is bullish, and VectorVest does advocate buying safe undervalued stocks that are rising in price. The three colors that you see represented here are bullish, neutral, and bearish. Today is a good bullish day in the market. Our color guard, which tracks three of our market timing indicators, is clearly represented on the home page. The price column looks at the price movement of what we call the VectorVest Composite. It is an indexed arithmetic average of all of the stocks that we track in our database. So the price column represents all 8,411 stocks tracked in one ticker symbol. We use it for market timing. RT in the color guard looks at what we call relative timing. It's one of our core proprietary indicators cast on a scale between 0 and 2. Relative timing looks at the short-term price trend in the market. Tells us if currently the market is in an uptrend or not. Today it's at 1.24 on that 0 to 2 scale. The market is in an uptrend. The higher above one it is, the faster in an uptrend it is, and the more below one it is, the faster in a downtrend. And the last indicator you see in this color guard is what we call the buy to sell ratio, BSR for short. The buy to sell ratio looks at the overall health of the market. Every stock in our database gets a buy, a sell, or a hold recommendation every single day. We look at the relationship of buy recommendations in the software divided by sells. Right now, we're saying that for every sell in the system, we almost have 8 buys. The market is definitely showing signs of strength. So this is truly an indicator that does look at the overall health of the market. And we track these symbols or these indicators on both the week over week and day over day basis, and we assign these colors tiles, colors based upon the movement of these indicators on their trends. You'll notice that in a 6-day time period, we have a lot more green in our color guard than anything. The market is definitely bullish. Now, for those of you who are brand new, you're probably saying, man, I don't need you to tell me that. I know the market is up. Absolutely. But we use things like the color guard and the other indicators and information that is in here to help us to know how to effectively trade the market. See this indicator right here that says MTI? That is the market timing indicator, also cast on a scale between 0 and 2. When this indicator gets to a level of about 1.5 to 1.6, the market is at a level where it's looking for a top. Understand. And this was a song written by, I think it was Creedence Clearwater Revival. What goes up must come down. Was it Creedence Clearwater Revival, or who was it? Joey doesn't know. He's too young. He doesn't know. I think it was CCR that wrote, what goes up must come down, spinning wheels turn around. Somebody in the chat will probably correct.
Tyrone Davis?
Huh?
No? Tyrone Davis?
It wasn't Tyrone Davis. I think it was CCR. But somebody in the room will probably correct me if I'm incorrect. I'm a DJ. I know my music, right, Joey? Joey knows I know my music. That's right. All right, so this indicator as a VectorVest subscriber gives you a heads up to know that the market is looking toppy. It helps you to adjust what's going on in your trading. I'm going to tell you that if the market's going up, take advantage of it. But that indicator, the MTI, helps you from getting blindsided when the market does decide it wants to go down. All of the major indices are up today. The Dow is up. Dow is the laggard today, only up about 0.8%. The NASDAQ is kicking butt, taking names, up almost 2.5%. The S&P is up about 1.5%. And our VectorVest Composite, which again looks at 8,400 stocks, is up over 1% today. A nice bullish day in the market. Now, let's start talking about what news is driving the market even higher right now. So we've got a sense that the market is bullish. Take advantage of the market while the market gives you, while the getting is good. All right? Take advantage of it. But be careful. Only buy on up days. On the down days, because we're at a toppy market, be very careful about how much money you're putting in the market, number one. Make sure that you have good stops in place to protect you before the market starts going down. I don't know when it's going to go down. And everybody's probably asking, well, you keep saying that the market is toppy. When is it going to go down? Well, how do you know when a market is finished being at a top? When it stops going up and it starts going down. So just keep that in mind. All right. Let's go out to my first news story, which talks about from a market overview perspective, is we're looking at The Fed's Evans says monetary policy will be accommodated for a long time. That's important because the Fed's job is to look at interest rates as well as jobs. Jobs report came in today, Thursday, was a little lower than expected, which is good. Only 787,000 people put in new jobless claims. They were expecting 800,000. So that's good. Huh? I need to change what? Oh, I didn't change it? Dag nabbit, Joey. Why didn't you change it?
Because I'm doing this.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Here's my first story. Fed Evans says monetary policy will be accommodated for a long time. And that just means that they're going to keep interest rates low. And they're going to, looks like for the foreseeable future, it's going to keep low. And, lower interest rates help to spur the economy. And that's what they're trying to do along with jobs. The Chicago Fed president will be voting member of the rate-setting Federal Open Market FOMC committee this year. Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago President Charles Evans said Monday the U.S. economy has a long period of very stimulative, there you go, monetary policy ahead of its central bank works to help the nation emerge from the coronavirus pandemic. We all know that coronavirus smacked the economy like a redheaded stepchild. Are you redheaded, Joey?
No, but I don't think you should say that.
I shouldn't say that? God, Joey said I shouldn't say that. All right.
It's very insensitive.
I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. Thank you, Joey, for keeping me on the right track. The coronavirus pandemic beat up the market. Pretty simple. And the Fed has been doing everything that it could to put it back into place. All right, so Fed rates staying at the levels that they are going to be stimulating the economy the best way that they can. My next story, economists expect a tough sledding in the winter, then a rebound. So firms face a difficult first quarter as COVID-19 cases surge, but stimulus and vaccines offer hope for a snapback later in 2021. See this right here? These two things is what's been pushing the market higher, even above our level where the market is looking for a top. We've had a very news-driven market. The stimulus, another round of stimulus went out a little lower than what a lot of people thought it should have been. Well, it is what it is, but stimulus has been going out to people who need it. And the vaccines, Project Warp Speed was kicking into place. We have a vaccine in a short amount of time. People are starting to get inoculated, and that's going to help in regards with what's going on with COVID-19. Hopefully, that gets us to some semblance of normalcy back into our society at some point in time. I think we're all looking for that. I know that I am, but knowing that the vaccine is out there and several companies are out there, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. And that's where we stand as far as what the Fed is trying to do to help stimulate the economy to get us through, as we have been pushing through the COVID-19 pandemic debacle on our economy. So I'm going to get us back into the software. And I'm going to open up into our watch list of stocks. This is our watch list of stocks. We're going to be looking at 12 stocks, actually 10, because 2 of these stocks represent what we're looking for as far as the market. Now, for those of you who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, what do you look at for tracking the trend of the market? Many of you are going to look at the S&P 500. So I put that into our list. And then I'm also going to, if you are a VectorVest subscriber, we have our VectorVest Composite. So I'm going to graph the both of these to look at the news that's affecting what the Fed is doing on to what's going on in our market. I'm going to highlight these two. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to view the stock graph. Let's pull them up. Put it on a 3-month graph. Now, for those of you who are new, you may ask the question, why are you looking at a 3-month graph? Well, because I'm interested in what's going on from a swing trade, middle-of-the-road type of perspective. What happens every 3 months within a stock or in the market? Earnings. I always want to make sure that I have the earnings picture on a graph, because earnings is the biggest mover of a stock's price, or in this case, even the market. As I look at the S&P 500 on my graph, let me tell you what I have. I have levels of support and resistance. All right. I have a 20-day exponential moving average, which is a good middle-of-the-road moving average from a swing trade perspective. I have our indicator relative timing on here as well. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take that off. And as I look at this graph, The market is in an uptrend, pushing higher. That's our indicator, relative timing. Volume on the market, as we're coming into the beginning of the year, was starting to pick up, pull back a little bit, but nonetheless, the price of the S&P 500, or the spiders, is clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average, hitting a new all-time high today. Nice open body as the market gapped up today. Nice open body. Market's bullish today. All right, that's looking at the S&P 500. Let's go to our VVC. Beautiful picture of it as well. Clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average. Great opportunity to get into the market around about this time when it first went above, and that was on 11/3 of 2020. Volume's been pretty steady. Our indicator RT went above the value of 1. From a market timing perspective, folks, that was a beautiful time to enter the market. Notice here when the market started to pull back a little bit, it still remained above the 20-day exponential moving average, bounced up, still moving higher. New all-time highs on the VectorVest Composite as well. Folks, this is the market right there. So even though the market is looking toppy, I'm still not going to tell you not to buy stocks. The market is still rising. But I still want you to be aware that in a toppy market, that it's going to have the propensity to pull back. The higher the market goes, the farther the pullback may be. So just keep that in mind because markets don't go up forever. All right, so how do you trade this market? Take it a day at a time. All right, as long as you're in the market, manage your stocks with your stops that you have in place. All right, don't panic. On a down day, just let your stops do the work. Let the market come to you. So I'm going to give you the information straightforward. All right, don't panic. Once the market starts going down, we have indicators in the VectorVest software that will alert you, and you can accommodate how you manage your stocks along the way.
How is their volume in the VVC if it isn't traded?
How is the volume in the VVC?
How is their volume?
How is their volume? What do you mean?
Yeah, is it not what's on the bottom?
This is volume, and it is traded. This is the VVC. This is our indicator. The VectorVest Composite does trade. It doesn't trade out in the real world because this is our indicator of this is like our S&P 500 or our NASDAQ or our Dow. All right, it is the VVC, which tracks the movement of 8,400 stocks. So there is volume, and it is traded, but just not traded in the market. The closest indicator that tracks the VVC is the VTI, the Vanguard Vipers. If you track and pull up the VTI, it tracks the VectorVest Composite pretty closely, but it's an indexed ETF as well that looks at, I believe, about 5,000 stocks, whereas ours looks at over 8,000 stocks. All right. Any other questions, Joey?
No.
All right, so folks, before I go on to my next story, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. If you like what you're seeing here right now, hit the thumbs up. Excuse me. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If your subscribe button is red, that means you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. All right, so that's our market overview. All right, right now, it's okay to be in the market. Only buy up on an up day. Understand that the market is currently looking for a top. So use that information to guide what you do. All right, let's get to our next story. Now, the next story is about gold. Why? Because gold is running. Will the Fed support gold prices in 2021? Gold ended 2020 at $1,891, partially thanks to monetary policy easing. Right? In 2021, the Fed may not trigger a comparable rally in gold, though, but it should offer gold prices some support. Now, I hear this a lot, that, man, gold is on the rise, gold is moving. All right, let's take a deeper look at it. I'm going to give you the inside story on gold, not just with the surface area of news you hear. Here, we're going to dive into these stocks and these industries to give you a better, well-rounded understanding on what's truly going on with things like gold. Welcome to 2021. I hope that it will be a wonderful year for all of you, a much healthier, calmer, and normal year than 2020 was, and even more profitable, of course. Indeed, at least gold bulls could be satisfied with last year, in which the price of gold jumped from 1523 to 1891. It means that the yellow metal gained more than 24%, as the chart shows below. All right, so this is insight on a company, Sunshine Profits. We're going to, I'm getting a whole lot of information to put out to you. Here's another story. Gold soars, oil pares back, Bitcoin wobbles. We're going to talk about gold. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. New and extended lockdowns may be taking a toll on the broader risk appetite today. And this was done on, where's my date? January 5th. And it took the edge off of oil. See, that's oil. I'm not going to talk about oil today. But gold eyeing 2,000. Right now, we saw it go from 15 to 1,800. Gold eyeing 2,000. Gold burst through 1,900 to start of the year with a softer dollar. What's the move of what moves gold? The dollar. When the dollar goes down, gold goes up because it's a safe haven. If we continue to have a strong dollar, gold is going to suffer. All right, with a softer dollar giving the yellow metal a kick it craved. With the psychological resistance overcome, gold gathered strong momentum quickly before running into a resistance just shy of 1945. With gold being back so heavily on the breakout and outlook for the dollar looking no better, again, the dollar is what moves gold, another run at 2,000 suddenly looks a matter of time, all right? Bitcoin, I'm not going to cover that here because I have stories on Bitcoin. Along with gold, silver. Silver gaps up above 2670. This was done on January 4th. The XAG opened a positive gap on Monday, breaking above 2670 barrier, which was marked by resistance by the highs of December 28th and 31st. The metal continued drifting north during Asian and European sessions, and currently it is near the December 21st, 2740. Overall, silver is trading above the upside support line drawn on a low of November 30th, and thus we should consider the short-term outlook to be positive now. Notice the words there, the short-term outlook to be positive for now. All right, so now let's go take a look at gold and silver. I'm going to get back into the software. And in our watch list, all right, one of the things that I'd like for all of the new people here to understand, our watch list of the stocks that we're looking at for the week. These stocks are sorted by our master indicator VST, which is our value safety timing vector. Notice what stocks are at the top of the list. Let's go down the list, I'm going to track gold as a whole by looking at the Huey. All right, that's the gold bug index. Out of 12 stocks, look at where it sits. So for those of you who keep telling me, man, gold is the way to go, go, look at where it sits in my list of 12 stocks. Silver. I'm looking at SILV for silver, which is SilverCrest Material. Look at where it sits in my list of 12 stocks. Both of these, as far as precious metals, are sitting towards the bottom of my list. Let's go take a look at these on a graph. View the stock graph. So you want to tell me that, put it on 3-month graph. You want to tell me that gold is rocking and rolling. Well, I'm going to tell you that right now it had a little short spurt up, but overall, I'm going to put this on a 3-month graph, put it on a 6-month graph, put it on a 1-year graph, and this is where gold was rocking and rolling back here. But look at where it sits right now. All right, it's still overall, let's extend my line here. This was my trend line. Extend my trend line here. Let's zoom back into about a 6-month graph. Where does gold sit? It looks like it's trying to break above this resistance level of the downtrend of connecting all of the highs. Are you ready to pull the trigger? Well, for me, I want to see a couple of things happen. Currently, the stock is above the 20-day exponential moving average. Boom. I like that. Coming off the low, we have higher lows. Looks like gold is moving higher. Ooh, what have I just created? What did I just create? Let's go make that line a little darker. I just created something called a wedge. And right now, the gold bugs is trading within a wedge. What I'm looking for is a breakout one way or the other. Hopefully, if it breaks above this trend line, this downward trend line, that's a good bullish opportunity. Let me make sure I'm really hitting the highs. All right, that's a good bullish indicator. If it stays within this, because this wedge formation is a consolidation pattern, and it's going to break one way or the other, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, I think that with the nice move up and towards the higher edge of this trend line, this upward trend line, actually downward trend line from the high, I think that gold has a good opportunity to break above and continue to move higher. For me to have more of a commitment to gold, I've got to see it break out of that wedge to the upside. I've got to see it. It did it here and very quickly came back into that pattern. All right, so that's where I stand on gold right now, but that's on the HUI that looks at gold as a whole. Let's go over to my next one, silver. Silver looks a little better, actually. Above the 20-day exponential moving average, it did break above a level of resistance sitting at the price. Oh, let me move that over. Sitting at the price of about 1043. All right, above the 20-day exponential moving average. We had a candlestick pattern right here known as a shooting star. Follow through and look at the pullback. All right, if you're in it, as long as it stays above the 20-day exponential moving average, you're okay. Notice something else. Notice how gold gapped up here. The price pullback faded the gap. Whew, that's a tough situation to be in right now. As far as silver is concerned, or looking at this indicator or this ticker symbol, I'd really like to see it break above the high. All right, RT is above the value of 1. Silver and the Huey, look at that. The Huey just got an RT, relative timing above 1. I'm really, really wanting you to wait on getting into gold as a whole, looking at this index. Let's take this a step further, though. I've got a watch list of gold stocks right here. All right, here just specifically for Trending Thursday. I've got a lot of gold stocks in here. If you really are antsy and you want to play gold on a good up day, I've got 50 stocks in here. I sort this by percent price change. And look at that, on an up day, nice up day in the market today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gold stocks are moving up today out of 50. That should give you more indication to be a little wary of gold and only take advantage of the stocks that are moving on the days, and they would be trades. I am not trying to play gold long term just quite yet. Let the trade come to you. See that wedge? Let gold break out of that wedge before I start looking at a long-term play on gold. Right now, gold has its opportunities. I would cherry pick individual gold stocks that are moving on a daily basis. I don't want you to get stuck in some of these stocks that are going down 2, 3, 4%. All right, so that's my play. Looking at the Huey is a good way to really gauge gold as a whole, whether you're bullish or bearish. Right now, I'm leery. I'm going to wait, let the Huey break out of that level of the wedge. And if I do want to play some gold stocks on any given day, only play the ones that are going up. All right, that's my story on gold, and I'm going to stick with it. Joey, do I have any questions?
What is the ticker symbol for the dollar?
What is the ticker symbol for the dollar? Look at UUP for the upside of the dollar and UDN for the downside of the dollar. So actually,
is the MTI for the HUI a positive?
And is the MTI for the HUI a positive? The MTI is only applicable to the VectorVest Composite. You cannot put the MTI on an individual stock. All right, the MTI is a market timing indicator used for the purposes of tracking the VectorVest Composite. So if I'm looking at the HUI, I'm analyzing the HUI. I'm looking at, is it in an uptrend? HUI right now, by way of relative timing, is in an uptrend. That's the only thing that I can really look at. The other indicators are because it's an index or an ETF, are going to be on the same spot, same space. But RT does tell me that the HUI is in an uptrend, which is a good thing. But I'd really like to see the breakout of the wedge before I become a little bit more longer term on gold. And I really am looking for the dollar to fall to help me to back that up. Any other questions, Joey?
Is there a Huey for silver?
Is there a Huey for silver? I'm looking at a silver indicator, SILV. There's also SLV. I'll add that, but that's just for here. Here's the iShare on silver. That's another one to take a look at. All right. This is not going to be in the videos per se, but here's another one, SLV. Sort of like a Huey, but for silver. Notice it's got a down day today, just like SILV had a down day today. Same kind of scenario. It's an ETF. It is got an RT above 1. So that's a good indicator. Maybe looking at the HUI and SLV might be your tool to look at for gold and silver. Any other questions? All right. Don't forget, folks, especially if you're new and you're liking what you're hearing here today, hit the like button. And if you're also new and you haven't subscribed to the button, I'm going to keep pushing this. Subscribe to the channel. All right. Talk about Tampa. Did I not talk about Tampa?
Tell them to type Tampa to win.
Oh, type Tampa to win the 2-day Tampa. Did I not say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying it again. Don't forget to type Tampa so that you can be entered into the drawing, which starts tomorrow, the Tampa 2-day online event. Tampa 2-day online event.
How many times you told them you're a DJ?
How many times did I tell him I was a DJ?
I don't know. More of the times than you talked about Tampa.
Wow. Why are you being a butt today?
I'm just saying. You acted like you already said one.
Wow. You just, what?
You know, say it again.
We're going to start off the year. We're going to fight starting off the beginning of the year.
New Year, New Glenn.
It is a new year, new Glenn, but it's still the same old Joey. Holy smokes. Why are you so aggressive today?
I just said you.
Well,
I'm say more than once.
Wow. All right. I'm going to my next story. Folks, I love Joey. Joey is my friend. I love him to death. I spend more time with Joey than his family does. Right, Joey? I do. All right. So now what are we going to talk about? What's hot and heavy on everybody's mind? Cryptocurrency. Oh, that's the gold. Oh, that's another gold story. We already talked about gold, but here's another one. Gold on course for best year in a decade. We already did our analysis on gold. I forgot that story. My fault. Beginning of the year. All right. But even with all of the news that we talked about, I'm hopeful that the analysis that I gave you gives you more insight on how to properly trade gold. Now the next story, which is hot and heavy on everybody's mind, is Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. And there's a lot of crypto folks in here that will point you, and I've seen this happen, and stop doing it, pointing you to other people's videos about Bitcoin and about cryptocurrency. I am going to stop the argument about what to do with Bitcoin today. All right? I will phrase it this way. Bitcoin is on the rise. I am still going to call Bitcoin a speculative trade. And you're going to understand why I say that in a moment. Bitcoin is going up. By all means, take it. At the time that this story was put out on January 3rd, Bitcoin is at 34,000. As of today, Bitcoin is above 40,000. I'm not going to be afraid to tell you, I own some Bitcoin stocks. Currently, I'm sitting in Riot and Mara. I'm making money. So I don't want you to take my statement that it's a speculative trade and go, oh my gosh, I'm not going to trade it. I'm not telling you that. It is the hottest industry in our software. So I'm going to tell you, take it. Is it too late? Did it take off and you missed it? Because exactly what it's doing. It is flying like an eagle to the sea. It's flying like an eagle. Let my spirit carry me. Because time keeps on trekking to the future. Bitcoin is on the rise. Now, let me ask you the question. Did the train leave the station? No. I still think that Bitcoin has some good upside. So Bitcoin, this story talks about Bitcoin topping 34,000 as the rally extends into 2021. While most markets were closed over the first weekend in 2021, an eye-popping rally for Bitcoin continued. At the time of writing, Bitcoin was up 14% to over 34,000, with more traders and institutional investors betting on crypto to become a mainstream payment method. That we've done stories on here in Trending Thursday. If you haven't subscribed to the channel where you can go back and look at all of our stories that we've done on Riot and on Mara and on Bitcoin, do so. All right, we've been talking positively about it. I'm still going to tell you that it's a speculative trade, and again, I'm going to show you why in a second. All right, but it's rocketing, it's rolling. It is higher than 40,000 right now, and guess what? Hold on, not that one. The JP Morgan story says Bitcoin to rise to 146,000. Now, that's news. That's a story. And that says as a long term as it competes with gold. Now, there was a story done by Clayton DeBert that talked about zillennials, and that zillennials are, for the ease of paying for things, are really moving over to Bitcoin, moving over to digital currency. Not only that, JP Morgan Chase, the bank, is getting more so into Bitcoin. Payment services like PayPal and Square are getting into Bitcoin. It is getting some traction that for the past few years, it was really like, ha ha ha, a silly man's game. Well, the big boys are starting to come to the table on Bitcoin. All right. So as the big boys start coming to the table, it's going to gain more traction. But you know what else is going to happen? And we've done story on this as well. The government's going to step in and start to try to regulate. All right. And that may not be a good thing for Bitcoin. We'll talk about that when the time comes. But the federal government is starting to talk about trying to put some regulations on Bitcoin. We'll see how that works out. But for the purposes of what's going on right now, my other story that I jumped over, Bitcoin did pull back a little bit. Bitcoin's correction does not yet appear to be a trend reversal. Nothing is telling me that Bitcoin right now is going to have a way to go down just quite yet. So now, why is Glenn still saying that this is a speculative trade? Well, I'm glad you asked the question. Let me get back into the software, because I used the software to really analyze beyond just the news. That is why I still say that it is a speculative trade. All right. I've got two things that I'm looking at from this story, Mara. And for those of you who want to try to play the whole industry, I tried to find an ETF, and I'm probably going to do a little bit more work on it, but I found one called BLOK, B-L-O-K, which pretty much is an ETF that tracks the space in one ETF. So we're going to take a look at that. But Marathon, let's analyze it real quick. Why do I call it this trade a speculative trade? We give a value on every stock, what we feel a stock is worth. The stock Marathon, which is a big mover in this space, is trading at $22.45, but it's got a value of $7.17. The stock is clearly way over its value. So our value is what we feel a stock is worth. Now let's look at our other indicators. Relative value, which looks at a stock's long-term upside potential. Long-term upside potential as compared to a AAA corporate bond. Okay? So when we look at relative value above 1, the stock's got good upside potential, because this indicator is cast on a scale between 0 and 2, where below 1 is unfavorable. It's got a value, relative value is 0.78, below that value of 1. Long term, not ready yet. Not ready yet. Next indicator, relative safety. It is an indicator of risk for a stock. Above 1, the stock is less risky. Below 1, the stock is more risky. Relative safety on that same scaling between 0 and 2 is 0.76. Mara is still a speculative trade because it's a little bit more of a risky trade. Now, many of them say, no. Long term, it's going to go up. All right, I'm cool with that. But I'm going to take this again day at a time. Notice that Mara is up 30% today. Yeah. Now, quickly as it can go up 30% is as quickly as it can go down 30%. Another sign of a speculative trade. Now, what is helping it? Our indicator RT, which tells us if the stock is in an uptrend or not, is pegged at that scaling of 2. It is definitely in an uptrend. Now you get a better understanding of why I'm saying this is still a speculative trade. I'm not telling you not to make money. Well, I'd be a fool to tell you not to use it to make money. But long term, I'm not feeling it because of the fundamentals of the stock. Relative value and relative safety are our fundamental indicators. Now, what else I do like, the stock's a buy recommendation. I do like that they grow their earnings at a clip of 25%. They've got an earnings per share of 27 cents. Our earnings is forecasted 12 months out. So we're saying that by this time next year, they should be earning 27 cents per share. So that's a good thing. I love all of that about it. All right. And the other stock I'm looking at is BLOK, which again, if I right click on it, I want to show you something. Right click, and I'm going to look at the stock analysis report just so I can show you. You can get a full stock analysis report on any stock. Amplify Transformational Data Sharing ETF seeks to invest in companies involved in transformational data sharing tech. All right, I'm going to see if I can get a better ETF to look at the overall space, but right now for today, I'm looking at it. All right, and let's go take a look at both of these on a graph. All right, let's take a look at both of these on a graph. Right click, view the stock graph. There's blockchain. There's the ETF. Wow, look at that. Above the 20-day exponential moving average. Look at the volume. Look at the relative timing. Again, I'd be a fool to tell you not to invest in it. But long term, looking at that relative value, there it is. Looking at that relative value, that's on the ETF. It's not going to show you that. Relative value, relative safety are going to be pegged at 1, but the stock is definitely in an uptrend. So that's trying to trade the whole space. BLOK sitting at $39 to trade the whole space. That may not be a bad trade if you want less exposure to it and still be able to make some money. All right. Here's Mara. Mara, look at that little pullback there, that little pullback there. It is rocking and rolling. Look at the rising volume. Look at the RT. Let's look at the relative value. Ooh. Look at that relative value pulling below 1 recently, even as the stock's price is moving up. That's the upside long-term appreciation. Look at the relative safety. I do like that it's getting to be a safer stock. Still below the value of 1, but getting better. So I do like many aspects of this space, but I'm not afraid to tell you that it's still a speculative play right now. But if it's moving up, take advantage of it. See the big wick today? A little bit of give back. All right, it can still be a very volatile trade. I like if you're trying to get into this space, look at BLOK as a possibility. You have a lot less exposure to risk that way, a lot less money being invested, but still pretty much taking advantage of this space. All right, any questions on cryptocurrencies, Joey? No?
No.
All right.
They're kind of just talking amongst themselves.
They're not even listening to me?
No.
Really?
No, they're talking about tax and...
Wow. Nobody's listening to me. That makes me sad.
They're listening.
All right.
Hey, we're going to do this coronavirus story, and then we're going to give away the Tampa 2-day.
All right, so we're going to do one more story before we do the giveaway. All right, so we're going to get into coronavirus. Let's go bump that up. Of course, you know that's hot and heavy. We did that story. More infectious coronavirus COVID-19 variant in at least 5 different states. There has been a variation of coronavirus that came out of the UK, now showing its ugly face in the U.S. A more contagious variant of COVID-19 that has swept through the United Kingdom has been reported in now 5 states. National Institute of Health Director Francis Collins said in an interview in the Washington Post on Wednesday. We have now seen the same UK virus in the U.S. in at least 5 states, and I'd be surprised if that doesn't grow pretty rapidly. Adding that it doesn't, however, seem to be more severe. That's a good news. All right, there is a different, just like we have with different strains of the flu. I think that it was just going to be. It was going to happen that you were going to get different strains or variations of COVID-19, and that's starting to pop up. All right, but wait a minute. There's another variation coming out of South Africa. The COVID variant found in South Africa this one is worrying experts. The viruses mutate all the time. It's no surprise that the coronavirus that emerged in China at the end of 2019 has undergone several significant mutations during the pandemic. But a new strain of the virus has emerged in South Africa, and it's causing concern. A new strain is causing concern, like a variant discovered in the UK in recent months, that one of the South Africans is proving to be far more transmissible. So the one coming out of the UK is not any more severe than what we're already experiencing, But now the variant coming out of South Africa, excuse me, could be a little different. At least all I'm doing is keeping you apprised of what's going on. All right, nothing more, nothing less. This is just news that you need to keep on top of, all right? And, you know, my stock of choice in this space is Moderna. It gets the green light now in Europe to be utilized as well, and that was done yesterday, all right? And that's just more news. And AstraZeneca is getting ready to get rolled out as well, so I believe in India. AstraZeneca is getting ready to get rolled out in India, so we're going to look at those two stocks, Moderna and AstraZeneca. So the first virus vaccination that went out was Pfizer, and people are currently getting injected with both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine, and I'm thinking AstraZeneca should be next. So those will be three that are out there. All right, so let's go to my list. And where are my stocks? There's Moderna towards the upper echelon of my list, sorted by our VST. I'm also going to talk about how to play the whole industry. There it is. XBI, the Spider Biotech, is a good way to play the whole biotech industry. And what's my last one? AstraZeneca. Notice where AstraZeneca sits in my list, all the way at the bottom. Moderna, trading at 113 with a value of 258. Nicely undervalued. I like that. I like VectorVest mantra is to have you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. Upside potential on Moderna is good. Long term, Moderna looks like a good play. Relative safety above 1. A less risky stock. So the fundamentals behind Moderna are finally in line with where I'd like to be. So Moderna, I still like it as one of the best stocks in that space. Not putting down Pfizer, not putting down AstraZeneca or any of the other drugs, Johnson & Johnson, anything like that. I'm just looking at the information. This is more than just data. This is now becoming useful information. Now, what's hurting it right now is that it's not going up in price. RT is below 1. The stock grows their earnings at a clip of 46% a year. That is, you know, these are the things that you look for in a long-term play. Earnings per share sitting at $10. $10 on a $113 stock, that's a good play. I like Moderna. I'm going to come back to XBI in a second. AstraZeneca sitting at $50, trading at $50 with a value of 51. The stock is what we like to call clearly fairly valued. Upside potential is there at 1.12, relative value at 1.12. It's got good upside potential. The safety is not there. It's not above 1, and the stock is not going up in price right now. They do grow their earnings at a positive clip of 11% a year. Forecasted earnings sitting at $2.60. Now, XBI, because it's an ETF, the price and value will be the same. Relative value and relative safety will be the same, but XBI, looking at the biotech industry, RT is above 1. That industry is moving. Let's take a look at these three stocks. Let's view the stock graph. Moderna is tough sometimes. Look at that pullback, but the fundamentals behind it are there. All right, let's put this on a 3-month graph. There's relative value. Upside potential has been rising. Relative safety has been rising. Everything behind the stock looks good. A little bit of a pullback. And right now, sitting at that value of the 20-day exponential moving average, if you're not currently in it, I would wait to see the stock go above that value before I pull the trigger. All right, that's the first thing. Stock just barely pulled out of an uptrend right now. I'd wait coming off of this base right here, sitting at a level of about, let me give you a horizontal, that's not what I wanted. Give you a horizontal line, sitting at a value of about 102.77. If you're in it, leave it alone. If you hadn't gotten out of it, you should have gotten out of it when the price went below the 20-day exponential moving average. Again, that 20-day exponential moving average is a good middle-of-the-road moving average. That's what I like it for, just for good middle of the road. Above it, good time to be in it. Below it, not a good time to get in. And if you were in it and you wrote it down to here, no need to do that. Get out of it. Take your profits a little earlier and now wait for a better buying opportunity. Let's move over to XBI. Here's the industry. Now, keep in mind that the biotech is not only looking at COVID-19 stocks, but looking at all of the stocks that are biotech. All of the stocks that are biotech and overall Look at that equity curve. Pulled back below the 20-day exponential moving average. Yesterday went above, now nicely above. I like this as a good longer-term play. The market's move doesn't have a direct correlation on it. As long as biotech is moving, the market could be down. And if biotech is moving, this will move. If you're not in it, I'd really like for you to get into it after it goes about 12 cents higher than the high to make sure you're buying into it as it's rising. And last but not least, AstraZeneca doesn't look very good as compared to the XBI or the Moderna. All right, and you know something in this space, let's do this. I've got a watch list for you. Let's go find healthcare, coronavirus stocks. There we go. I've got a watch list. How many stocks are in here? If you're looking, these are specifically coronavirus stocks, though, specifically for coronavirus. Excuse me. I can always sort this by percent price change if I'm looking to be a trader. And I like doing this, taking this coronavirus watch list, and everybody out there who's a VectorVest subscriber has a coronavirus watch list. You all have access to it. All right. Ours is a little different because we've added more to it. But I can, from a trade perspective, let's stream it. From a trade perspective, I can always, every day, find out which stocks are moving early in the morning to take advantage of. CVAC is up 18% today. What if I would have caught that early when it was up 2 or 3 or 4%? So you want to have an opportunity to play these stocks as a trader. That's what you look for. If you're looking for the long-term plays, then I would look at relative value and find like APT, Novavax, Codex. These are stocks that everybody in our jockey club knows about. These are good, solid coronavirus companies that you can play for the long term. Which ones grow their earnings the most? Sort by GRT, Codex, Novavax. A lot of the same names come up to the top of the list. So VectorVest watch list provides you with a lot of great buying opportunities at the right time. All right. So that's my coronavirus story. I think more so than anything, utilize the coronavirus watch list to find the stocks that best fit the way that you invest in the market. If you're not a subscriber to the software, we're offering still a 99-cent trial for 30 days where you can utilize our VectorVest watch list to do this kind of analysis on any stock that you have. All right. What did you tell me I needed to do? You told me I needed to do something.
We're going to do the drawing.
Oh, we're going to do the drawing?
Yeah. Where do I find COVID watch list in UK VV?
You know something? I don't know if we've got one for the UK VV. You know something? I'm doing this on the fly. What is that for? UK. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm doing this on the fly because I love you guys. All right, Joey's going to sign in. I forget what the... You know something? How cool is that I can do this? And we're going to find out right now if there is one. I'm not sure if there is one. I don't know if the UK has got the stocks to warrant a watch list. So let's go to the viewers. Let's go to the watch list viewers. Let's go to special watch list. No. And that's where it would be. Or, yep, that's where it would be. I don't think that we have... Yeah, I don't think that we have one for the, I would have to go through the UK watch list.
How could you find the stocks to make a watch?
I'd have to do some work in here. Let's do this real quick. Let's go to the industry viewer in the UK. Wow, that's all you have is, you got 151 industries. Let's go look at them all. Let's go look at them. Let's go sort this. Look at this. How cool. And you know something? I think that doing this on the fly is a good thing. Let's go see if you've got healthcare, instruments, med, nursing. Yeah, you ain't got it. You don't have the industry that I'm looking for coronavirus stocks. I don't think you have that capability. If I do it in the U.S., go to the viewers, go to the industry viewers, right? In the U.S., we have, let's go industry, sort this by industries. And let's go down the list. Health care, marijuana, instruments, HMO, marijuana. You know something? Come back to me next week. Let me see what I can find out for you. Let me see if I can make you a watch list of coronavirus. Take his name down for me. Let's see if I can find you a watch list in the UK. I'm going to do some work, and I'm going to try and see what I can find out for you. How about that? All right. If it's available, I'll find it. If it's available, I'll create a watch list for you. All right? And there we go. All right. What are we doing? We're doing the drawing now for Tampa?
Andrew Lee.
Andrew Lee. Andrew Lee, you've now won a free seat at the Tampa 2-Day. Now, you have to send an email.
To connect@vectorvest.com.
To connect@vectorvest.com. Type it in the room for him. That's only for, no, it's Andrew. It's just for Andrew Lee. Connect@vectorvest.com. Congratulations. You just won a seat at the 2-Day Tampa online event.
We're still here.
Huh?
He's here.
He's still here. Excellent.
Jay says that's me.
Jess, who is that, Jess?
Jay says that's
Oh,
me.
Jay that says that's me, or whatever, Jay. Everybody congratulate him. That's awesome. All right, first session. Huh?
Put your clap.
Oh, for the first session of the year, congratulations. That was awesome. Everybody congratulate him. All right. I've got one other story to do today. All right, let me get back to my watch list. I got one other story to do. And for those people who are new, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. All right, please subscribe to the channel. If you're new and you like the content that we're putting on here, hit the like button. How many likes do we have today?
115.
115. Let's see if we can get up to 200 likes. How many people we got here?
412.
Let's see if we can get 200 likes today. All right, if you like it. I'm not twisting no arms, but I just want to hear that you guys, especially sitting in the background, if you like what you see here today, there's a lot of content on YouTube. But if you like what you see here, come on back. Subscribe to the channel. Listen, I may not tell you what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you what you need to hear to make better decisions. That's my job. All right? I am not going to always be able to be the one that's going to say, hey, this is the next Amazon, or this is the next Google, or this is the next Apple. Hey, come. That's not my deal. My deal is to effectively help you make money in the market. All right? That's my deal. And if you like that, then hit the subscribe button. All right.
147.
Yeah, we got 140. So we're getting up to 200. I'm going to see if we can get to. There we go. Last story. All right. Marijuana, baby. Ooh, we hit that ooh-wee button. That is a hot industry, baby. All right, so I got a story here from Investor Place. 6 cannabis stocks to buy as the U.S. softens its stance. That's the key word of why, or the key words of why marijuana stocks are on the rise. All right. And now, without trying to piss nobody off in the room, all right, I ain't trying to piss off anybody, but we now officially have a new administration. All right. And that's where that comment stays and stops, right there. I'm telling you that right now. That's where it stops. Nothing more about it. Okay. With that, it looks like marijuana will get an opportunity. And I know this says December 31st of 2020. I understand that. Remember, we hadn't been here for a couple of weeks. This could be a great buying opportunity for many of you out there. All right. I'm only going to look at 2 of these stocks that are here specifically because I think that they really have a lot more potential than any other stocks out there. CGC and GRWG. And there's one more, IIPR. Those are my 3 best picks right now for this space. CGC, GRWG, and IIPR. Write them down, all right? Those are my 3 for this space. Here's the story, blah, 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 blah. Until Congress approves decriminalization and the president signs it into law, cannabis stocks may have something of a cloud hanging over them. And that has been what's going on with marijuana stocks right now. They go up and they go, I don't know. And then they go up some more and they go, I don't know. Until there is a law that decriminalizes marijuana, it's still an iffy play. All right. But I'm going to tell you that these marijuana stocks could present you with some of the best buying opportunities in your lifetime. I will step out there and say that. All right. So there's the story. Let's go into the software. Notice what's the top stock in my list? GRWG. I also want to tell you, and every time I can give you an opportunity of looking at a whole industry, I'm going to put that up there to look at the whole marijuana industry. Here's an ETF for it. MJ, CGC is my other one. So GRWG, CGC, MJ, those are my marijuana plays. Let's go look at Grow Generations, trading at $45 with a value of 11. The stock is still clearly overvalued. But I think that value will rise as if it comes to fruition, the decriminalization of marijuana kicks in. All right. Upside potential, it's got good upside potential at 1.28 on relative value. Relative safety is a less risky stock at this point with a relative safety at 1.05. Relative timing tells me the stock is kicking butt, taking names. They grow their earnings at a clip of 43%. They got an earnings per share of 39 cents. I'll come back to MJ in a second. Cannabis growth, trading at $30.75, also overvalued with a value of $9.95. Again, until the decriminalization comes into place, these stocks in this space will still be overvalued. All right. Upside potential, not nearly as good as Grow Generation. All right, at 0.59 relative safety, not nearly as good as Grow Generations. We've done a lot of stories on cannabis growth. It's got a lot of good potential. It's upside potential. Relative timing tells me the stock's in an uptrend. They only grow their earnings at a clip of 8%. They've got negative earnings. And again, if you're going to play the whole industry, MJ is a good place to be in with less exposure to risk because you're playing one stock for the whole industry. Let's take a look at these stocks on a graph. We put that up there again. There's Grow Generations, beautifully above the 20-day exponential moving average, even as it has this Loch Nessy move. Look at the humpback like a Loch Ness monster. Look at that beautiful level of the 20-day exponential moving average. Plays it well. Little give back today. RT is above 1. Watch relative value, though. I know it's above 1, but it's pulling back. Relative safety, on the other hand, is growing. Let's go take a look at, why did you only look at that one? That's silly. Let's go and CGC, right click. Now, let's go look at all three. Put these back on a 3-month graph. And there's Mary Jane. Mary Jane. Every time I see it, it looks like Mary Jane. The whole industry, stop it, Joey. The whole industry, a little bit of a pullback here. And then it crossed above the 20-day exponential moving average on 1.4. Stayed above, stayed above, stayed above. A little bit of give back here, but clearly above the 20-day. Rising volume with the exception of today. And last but not least, CGC, I like this one too. Bottom left, top right, a little bit of a pullback. Is clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average. Volume, RT, relative value is above 1. Notice that the safety on these stocks is moving higher. I think as we get closer and closer to decriminalization, these stocks may present for you one of the best buying opportunities to be able to buy low and sell high. All right? So there's my marijuana story. Anybody got any questions, Joey? While you're doing that, I'm going to drink my Pepsi. I am going to promote Pepsi today. I shouldn't be drinking it, though, because I got the sugars. But I've been craving me a Pepsi, so go ahead, Joey.
Eric Owens wants to know if this is live.
This is live. I would belch after drinking this, but that would be rude. But yeah, this is live. This is as live as it gets, baby. Woo! All right. If I scared you, I'm sorry. Make sure you lock up all the kids and dogs and children and stuff because that was kind of scary. That's because I'm drinking this Pepsi. Any other questions, Joey?
No, they just want their stocks looked at.
All right. Man, how good am I on time today?
I'm pretty good.
I'm good on time. Joey yells at me every week because I go over time. But you know something? What are we waiting for right now? If there's no stories, there's no more questions. Let's take a look at your stocks, all right? I'm going to give a nice little analysis by utilizing the VectorVest software, looking at your stocks. So, Joey, we'll call off the stocks as I put them in for you. Rock and roll, baby.
Ready?
Yep.
Is it in there? All right, we're going to go WNDW.
WNDW. Okay, go ahead.
ACB.
ACB, another marijuana stock.
DAC.
DAC.
Plug.
Clean energy stock.
POTX.
POTX.
XPO.
XPO.
MRK.
MRK. You need to talk faster.
ENPH.
ENPH.
APHA.
APHA. IEA.
HEXO.
HEXO. What?
J&J.
J&J.
BABA.
BABA.
Right.
RI, another crypto stock.
OESX.
OESX.
RVP.
RVP.
HIL.
HIL. That's Joey stock. Just want y'all to know that.
VOLT.
VOLT. BNGO. Joey's going to put a link in there if I missed your stock. He's going to show you how you can go and get a free stock analysis on any stock that you want. On any stock that you want. All right, so I'm going to, you know me, why I like to look at the 3-month graph. I'm actually going to put on earnings per share. I'm going to put on the growth, and I'm going to put on RT. So I want to give you a real analysis on these stocks. All right. So here's Solar Window, Energy Clean. Energy Clean is still a good industry. Don't get me wrong. This industry has been hot. We called it here on Trending Thursday on July 9th of 2020 as a hot industry, and it's been, and man, that's way back here. All right. WNDO, nicely above the 20-day exponential moving average. Even though it started moving sideways, volume started to fade out. That makes sense as a stock's price starts moving sideways. Took off the last close. Stock has bounced off that level of support using the 20-day exponential moving average, moving higher. If you're not in the stock, I would go 5 cents higher than the high. I'd put in a buy stop order at $9.95. That's where I would be putting it in to make sure I'm buying into the stock as it's rising. If you're in the stock, leave it alone. Use that 20-day exponential moving average as a good way to get out of the stock. If it didn't break below or close below, leave it alone. I like the stock. Right now, I just need some confirmation of moving up. Earnings growth rate, I'd like to see, long-term, I'd like to see good earnings growth rate, and I'd like to see positive earnings. But I can't not listen to the stock's price action. It is moving up. But these two indicators from an earnings perspective, because earnings is the biggest mover of a stock's price, be careful with that, okay? Let's go to the next stock, ACB, in that space of marijuana. I do like that the earnings per share is getting better and the earnings growth is getting better. I'm telling you that as these stocks start to get closer to being decriminalized, the fundamentals in the stock will definitely start to rise. All right, right now, ACB is sitting in a little bit of a channel back and forth. I'd wait. It is clearly above the 20-day. If you're in it, leave it alone. If you're not, though, I'd like to see it really get out of its own way. Right now, it's in its own way. I would wait. Only buy on an up day, but right now, because it's a little bit of this channel, I would get in and out as a trade. I would get in and out until it can break above that all-time 3-month high. Then I'd have more comfort in staying in it longer term. All right, good.
What percent is a good stop?
What percent is a good stop? Let's look at it this way. If you're in a more aggressive stock, a more volatile stock, you got to give that stock about a 15 to 20% stop. Because as quickly as it can go up is as quickly as it goes down. If you're in a more stable stock like DAC, I like a trailing stop of 10%. I like a trailing stop of 10%. 9 times out of 10, you notice along the way in this moving up, it hasn't hit a 10% pullback. And the stock's price still keeps moving up. If I'm looking for more of a longer-term move, I would look at the stock breaking below like a 40-day or 50-day moving average. All right. So that's my play out on stops. But DAC, I like this stock. I like this stock, and I cannot lie. This is a good-looking stock that's doing what? Taking off just like an airplane. This is bottom left, top right, beautiful equity curve. A little bit of a rising volume. Earnings growth rate, look at that, gotten better. It went from negative to positive. Earnings per share getting better. There's a lot of things I like about this. Long term, I like it. But understand that when the market does pull back, the market's direction affects about 80% of the stocks in the market. Be careful with that. If this stock has options, I like this long term. If this stock has options, I'd sell a covered call when the market falls because this is a stock that I do want to hold longer term. I do like the earnings per share. $9.27 on it. That's 1 to 3. Man, that's good earnings to the stock's price. I like that. All right, and the earnings growth rate is at 1, but I like that. This is a good stock I like to hold long term. Excuse me. Plug, clean energy, big gap up today. If I own it, I'm going to watch that gap. And I'm going to use that as a level to get back out of the stock if it pulls back down to that. But it was sitting at a nice level of 37.41. Big volume today. Must have been news. Don't know. RT is rising. Earnings growth rate is good. Earnings per share is jumpy back and forth. Let's go put earnings on. Last earnings play must have worked out because the stock's price went up. I just don't like that, but the price action is telling me it looks like a good play. I'd put in my order if I'm not in it, 12 cents higher than the high. All right, yes, Joey.
I noticed you were using EMA 20 to evaluate. Why? And when do you get in and out using the EMA 20?
All right, so the EMA 20, why am I using that? Is the first question. I think that it's a good middle-of-the-road swing trade moving average. If I were looking for more of a trade, I'd look at a 10-day exponential moving average or a combination of a 3 and an 8 exponential moving average. Why do I use exponential moving averages? Because it plays right in between a weighted moving average, which tracks price a little closer, and a simple moving average, which tracks price a little further. The exponential moving average plays right in the middle of it to give me a good opportunity to get in and out. So how do I use the moving averages to get in and out? Good opportunity is when the stock's price goes above my moving average like it did here on an end of day closed above. That's a good buying opportunity the next day. Notice that would have kept you in. Notice that the price closed down, but not actually closed down. The price closed here above, kept you in. And I love, from a swing trade perspective, what it does. All right, so that's why I use exponential, and that's how you use it to get in and out. All right, plug looks good. 20-day EMA versus the simple. Con, the 20-day simple tracks price further. If I put on moving average simple 10, let's add that real quick. All right, and let's change the color. Is that the simple? I think it was. MA moving price simple, change the style. Let's make this a little darker. All right. Actually, this is interesting, and this is abnormal that the 10-day actually tracks price closer. That usually does not happen. It's the weighted that tends to track price a little closer. This is interesting that the 10-day actually tracks price a little. Let me move that up. Actually tracks price a little closer than 20-day. That normally doesn't happen, but in this case it is. But I used, and now, because that's not 20. That's why. Duh, that's a 10. If I had them both set up as a 20-day exponential and a 20-day simple, you would see that the exponential tracks price closer. That's why. I know. I thank you, Mark. I saw that. I had to catch myself. I was like, wow, that's not the same. But a simple tracks price a little further, gets you in and out a little slower, whereas the exponential gets you in a little quicker. Let's go to the next stock. I like plug, by the way. Potex. What is this? Cannabis? It looks like cannabis.
ETF specialty theme.
This stock is simply at a level of resistance. It's having a hard time breaking through either one of these levels of resistance. I'd wait. The stock is moving from the bottom left to top right. It did gap up. I like all of that. But before I put my money behind it, I need some confirmation of the move. And right now, it's having a hard time just breaking above 1248. And then the next headwind is going to be at 1275. Potex is another ETF, and there you go. Thank you, Ninja. I really need this stock to get out of its own way. I love the bounce and the breakout of it. I need confirmation. So the breakout is good, but I need confirmation. Show how to add it to the graph, please. So Eric, go over to price, right-click on price. That's where you have your add moving averages. You can put on the simple, exponential, or weighted, and then you can adjust the values by hitting the up and down arrows. All right, that's how you do that. All right, so Podtex, I really need it to get out. I really need it to get out. Is this how VectorVest analyzes stocks? Well, my listing, this is how we analyze stocks. What I'm looking at right now, Mark, is the graphs, just as a visualization of when to get in and out of the stocks. This is the analysis using relative value, relative safety, relative timing, VST, CI. These are the indicators that I use for analyzing stocks. What I'm looking at right now are entry and exit points. Does that make sense, Mark? All right, that's what I'm doing right now, is analyzing graphs to help you guys with, if you're not in it, when to get in. If you are in it, when to get out. All right, let's go to the next stock. XPO, definitely bottom left, top right. And you know why, Mark, I like graphs? Because they, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I can very quickly discern whether a stock is in an uptrend. I can discern when to get in. I can discern when to get out. And if I own the stock, I can discern what I want to do with the stock now. And if I don't own the stock, I can discern when to get in. All right, that's the power behind the graph. Now, I like the earnings per share. Now, the earnings per share is at 346. It's been rising. I like that. Earnings growth rate is pretty solid. Stock's in an uptrend. I like the stock. Bottom left, top right. If I'm not in it, I'd go 12 cents higher than the high. 12 cents higher than the high. All right, let's go look at this. Wow, Merck, also in that space with the drug company. Moderna, we already looked at Moderna, Mark. It was one of my stories. So we already did look at Moderna. So I won't look at it again, but we already did look at it. Merck, definite sideways move. It needs to get above a level of 83, 88. Right now, it's right there at it. Nice open candle for the last 3 days. Yeah, earnings growth rate is falling back a little bit, but our projected earnings is rising. I do like that as well. And RT just got above 1. I'm thinking that RT getting above 1 should give it a little bit more push to get out of its own way. I should give it a little bit of push. Let's go to the next stock. Love that stock. Another one of these stocks is taking off just like a plane. Bottom left, top right, little give back today, but 3 solid days of open bodies. Today, again, a little bit of give back. Gap, above the 20-day. Volume is pretty steady. I'd really like to see rising volume going along with a rising stock. Can you use smaller words? Discern was too big for me. I can decide. I can imagine all the people living in it. Woo-hoo. Anyway, EMPH, love the equity curve. Little pullback today. What I would really like to see is 12 cents higher than the high to make sure I'm buying into it as it's rising. All right, earnings per share I do like. There's not much I don't like about it, and I love that 20-day exponential moving average is a way to keep you in the stock. All right, next one. Another one in marijuana. You've given up some marijuana stocks. Some of them are better than others. But, bottom left, top right, all I'm telling you is once the decriminalization happens, a lot of these stocks that you put out there are going to give you good opportunities, are going to give you some opportunities. There really, really is. I'm just telling you, folks, keep your eyes out for that. And I think that going forward, I'm going to keep bringing up stories about marijuana stocks because I do not want you guys to miss out on that opportunity. All right. Let's go to the next stock. IEA, another energy clean, bottom left, top right, nice open day today, clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average, growing earnings per share. Earnings growth rate is leveling out, but love the rising earnings. Again, earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. With the news of amalgamation of Tilray and Altria, I don't understand why Tilray is not on your list. Oh, it's in my marijuana list. Remember, I got a lot of stocks in that marijuana list. I just didn't talk about it today. I've talked about Tilray in the past. I've talked about Altria in the past. Remember, I got about an hour and a half to talk about. I can't talk about every single stock that's out there. So, Kenneth, oh no, it's in my list. It's a stock that I like. But my main stocks that I like in this space still are going to be CGC, GRWG, and IIPR. Those are my three main stocks. Now, Tilray and Alfria bought up to get into CBD drinks. Is that what it is? That's a whole nother deal in and of itself, and I'm not downplaying that. And Tilray is a stock to keep your eye on. So, Kenneth, I'm just putting that out there. I'm just putting that out. I am not downplaying it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. All right? Let's go to the next one, Hexo. You guys, what are you guys, high on marijuana stocks? That's funny. That was funny, Joey. All right, anyway. Hexo, another stock that I really want to see break out of that level of resistance before I pull the trigger on. I just want to make sure that I pull the trigger. I want you to not just say, oh, yeah, it's going up, go, 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 go. If that's a good level of resistance, what do you think is going to happen? Look at it's in that zone right now. What is the stock doing? Look at what that's what the stock is doing right there. All right, be careful. That's why I talk about buying above the high. The stock is doing great. Yeah, I'm going to get into and what are you going to do? And then when this happens, what do? You panic. You panic. Well, is it below the 20-day exponential moving average? No. Then wait. And Hexo just split, by the way. Then wait. Let the trade come to you, folks. Let the trade come to you. Stop panicking on the days that it goes down. All right? Let your stops manage the trade. All right, the stock going to get punched in the jaw at resistance. Well, look at that. It's right in that zone right there. Hexo is right in that resistance zone. What is it doing? All right, that's why you hear me say it time and time again, buy above the high. All right, next one, Johnson & Johnson. That's another drug that's going to be coming out with it. You know, I haven't seen much news on it, but I'm thinking that that's another one that's going to be coming out with a vaccine shortly. That looks good. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That looks good. Just riding that 20-day exponential moving average, broke through two levels of resistance, hitting a new high. That looks good. I like that trade. If you're not in it, 12 cents higher than the high. Where's the earnings growth rate? Where's the safety? Yeah, I like this. This is another good long-term stock. I like that. I like that from a long-term perspective. If it's got options, I'd play in options. That's why graphs are important, says Ahmad. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alibaba, nah. Nope. Ain't feeling it. Now, Alibaba at the height of COVID was one of those stocks that you wanted to be in, right? Because it's like the Chinese Amazon. But right now, I don't know what's going on. I don't have definitive word or news that's telling me why it's doing this. The earnings growth rate is falling precipitously. It's still positive. Nope, it's not positive. Let's go. Earnings growth rate is negative now. Be careful with that. Earnings per share is falling. Remember, earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. It's falling. It's below the 20-day exponential moving average. There's nothing that I like about Alibaba right now. Not right now. Let the trade come to you. There could be better buying opportunities. This is just not one of them right now. How do you add resistance and support lines, Jay? If you go to add parameter, go down to technical analysis. One of the things that you can add is support and resistance right here. Baba problem is Chinese investigations. Thank you, Ninja. All right, so listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that. What they do over there is what they do. I ain't talking about it. I want nobody to come get me like a Jack Ma. I'm not trying to get into it like that. So all I'm telling you is that it's not a good buying opportunity right now. I don't know if that was in good taste or not, but in case you didn't know, Jack Ma spoke up against the Chinese government, and I think they just shut him down for a little bit. So he's just laying low. He's just laying low. So a lot of people say, well, he's missing. I keep hearing the stories that he's just laying low right now. All right. So let's go. Wow, Riot. Again, I can't fight the tape on crypto. I can't fight the tape on crypto. I told you why I still think it's a speculative play, but the 20-day exponential moving average don't lie. It don't lie. Beautifully above it, trading, rising volume, earnings growth rate, earnings per share is getting better. There's not much I can tell you not to do about it. Joey, what happened to Jack Ma? Oh, so now somebody wants to know, what did you do to Jack Ma? Joey got that kind of pull. Joey got that kind of pull. Joey says he pleads the fifth. Interesting on Riot today, though. A little bit of give back. Look at the big wick at the top. Nicely went up as high as $27.40 today. Right now, went down $5. Woo, that's a big little hit. I'm telling you, as quickly as it can go up, as quickly as it can go down. Just be careful with Riot, with Mara, with crypto. Make your money as you can make it. Don't fall in love with it. That's all I got to say right now. And somebody's going to post on here later and say, well, I think you're wrong about crypto because it's going to go to the moon. All right, let it go to the moon. I'm not trying to tell you not to take advantage of it while it's going to the moon. All I am trying to tell you is just be careful with it. All right, that's what I'm trying to tell you is just be careful with it. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, let's go to OESX. Beautiful level of resistance, having a hard time getting past 1084. Hit once, hit twice, hit 3 times, hit 4 times. A hard time. Yeah, look at that. 4 times hit that level of resistance. That's a beautiful level of resistance. If that's not enough to tell you to buy 5 cents higher than, I don't know what is. Let the stock come to you. The stock is having a hard time getting above that level of resistance. I would put in my order 5 cents higher to make sure I'm buying into it as it's rising. Earnings looks good on it. Earnings growth rate is pulling down a little bit, but still positive. They still grow their earnings at a clip of 30% a year. Earnings per share is definitely stair-step effect. I like that. All I'm looking for from a buying opportunity is for the stock to get above that level of resistance. RVP. You down with RVP? No, not me. Interesting. The stock's price ran up, and everybody was saying, yay, go! And then it went down. They said, oh, no! And then it ran up again. They said, yay! And then it came down again, and they went, hey! Right now, the stock is moving sideways. All right, if I'm not in it, I'm not ready to touch it yet. If I am in it, at least use that level of 1047 as your line in the sand. If it falls below that, get out of it. All right, or better yet, consider getting out of it. That's the better way for me to say it because I'm not a broker. All right, if the stock's price falls below that level of support of 1047, you might really want to consider taking your trade off the table. I do like the earnings growth rate. I do like the earnings per share. But stock's price action is what's going to determine what I do or don't do. What stock is that? This is RVP. Tiffany, that's RVP. RVP. And again, right now, the stock's price is just moving sideways. So just be careful with that. If you own it, leave it alone. If you don't own it, sell it. Sell IC. IC. What is an IC? And that's not a covered call. I'm not sure what you're saying. Nope, Chris, I'm not looking at any other stocks. Joey called all of the stocks that I'm going to look at today. All right, so RVP is just moving sideways. Just be careful. Oh, Iron Condor. All right, there you go. On this one, I'd like an Iron Condor. You know something? I don't have enough sideways move to call this Iron Condor, to play the Iron Condor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, I almost got 3 weeks. Iron Condor may not be a bad play on this. For those of you who don't trade options, you can make money even when the stock's price moves sideways. That would be an Iron Condor. As long as it stays within a range, you'll make your money. You'll make your money. So it's a good options play, and what you're looking for is stocks that do this, that move sideways. All right? So, no, Chris, again, I answered your question. Hill, moving up, bottom left, top right, a little bit of a sideways move, popped up. As long as it stays above the 20-day exponential moving average, I like it. You know what else I'm going to tell you to do in regards to when a stock's price falls? Write this down if you haven't already done it. Don't lose more than half of what you've made on the position. I think that that's a good rule of thumb. Don't lose more than half of what you've made on the stock. All right. Nice up day yesterday. A little bit of a pullback, but still greatly higher. Nice. You're still not biting into a lot of what you made yesterday. All right. RT is rising. Earnings growth rate looks good. I turned my boy Joey onto this stock, and he's loving me. How much you up on the stock percentage-wise?
It's over 15.
Over 15%. And I gave this to him before Christmas. This was my Christmas present to Joey.
28%.
You're up 28%? There you go. Joe, that was my Christmas present to Joey. That was my Christmas present to Joey. Right? I love you, Joey. All right. What else is here? Would you play a married put on Baba? Oh, it's only a married put if you own it. And you know something? If you own it and you haven't put the put on yet, yeah, you're not going to recoup all of this loss. The only time you put a married put on, so let me answer that. For your married put, Tonine, you know when I would have put it on? When the stock's price closed, when the stock's price first closed below the 20-day. That's when I would have put the married put on. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because now, as the stock's price depreciates, my married put is picking up in value. That's when it, not now, because all of this that you've lost, you ain't getting it back. All of this that you lost, you ain't getting it back. I would put on a married put as soon as the stock's price goes below or closes below the 20-day. Does that make sense, Tonine? I hope so. All right, that's when you start putting that on. All right. Ravi, you have to call support. All right. RVP, Hill, Volt. Woo, big channel. Big channel. Back and forth, above and below the 20-day. Starting to bounce up now, coming off a level of support of 163. You know something? If you're going to play this now because you want to be antsy about it, I'd go 5 cents higher than the high. Profit target, though, would be sitting at about 235. All right, because of the channel. I'd stop at about 235. What's a married put, Jay? That's owning a stock and buying a put that goes along with the stock. And bingo, Bio Nano. Ooh, watch the volume. Volume started picking up a little bit. I see that and starting to pull back. Be careful with this. I'd rather have you in a more active stock than a stock like this. I love that it bounced, but look how quickly we're starting to give away this big up day. All right, so there we go. And again, Joey gave me all of the stocks that I'm going to be looking at today, so I'm not going to add any more stocks. Joey, type in the room if people who are looking for analysis on their stocks. Joey's going to put a link in there. So everyone who keeps asking about stocks to look at, Joey's going to put a link. Click that link. You can get a full stock analysis on any stock you want. All right, man. Woo! That was day number 1. What happens if I use this one? Does it work? No. What if I use this one? Does it work? Yeah. All right. With that, folks, that was our first session. For those people who are brand new, if you like the content today, hit the like button. Hit the like button.
If you didn't win, /Tampa.
If you didn't win and you still want to go to the Tampa 2-day, go to www.vectorvest.com /Tampa. Folks, it's probably going to be one of the best investing dollars to learn how to make money in the market that you'll ever spend. You want to learn when to buy, what to buy, when to sell, and how to use the VectorVest software to do it, sign up for it. www.vectorvest.com /Tampa. For those of you who are new, if your subscribe button is red, hit the subscribe button. Come on. Hook a brother up. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. How many likes do we have?
187, 191.
191. So I wanted to get close to 200. I wanted to get 200. Hopefully that before we go, we get 200. That just shows me that you guys appreciate what you saw today, especially if you're new. And remember, going forward for the rest of the year, when you come to Trending Thursday, bring a friend. Everybody try to bring a friend. Everybody try to bring a friend. All right, we're gonna grow. We're gonna grow beyond compare this year. Our subscribership, we are, and we're gonna. I think that I'm going to be looking at new content this year. I think I'm going to do a lot more on YouTube this year. So you're going to see a lot more on my face, whether you like it or not. How about that? Whether you like it or not. Thank you guys for showing up.
What day is the live stock review? What day is the hot stock panel?
What day? The next hot stock panel is going to be on January 13th. January 13th. Every month we do a hot stock panel with me and a couple of my colleagues. We analyze stocks, and I'm gonna do a video real soon that shows you how well a lot of our picks have done over the last year from our hot stock panel. So be on the lookout for that. The only way you're going to know when that's going to happen is if you subscribe to the channel. All right, I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos this year. I just am. All right, Glenn, can't wait for Tampa this weekend. When do you do YouTube best stock review with your team again? It is, normally it's the first Wednesday of every month, right? We try to do about the first Wednesday of every month.
Well, we got this year.
And Ahmad says, oh no, not more face. Yep, you're going to see this? You're going to see more. I want that to go viral. You think that can go viral? No, you don't think that can go viral? No, okay. All right, folks. Listen, we got 200 likes? Somebody just said we got 200 likes? Way to go. Thank you, folks. Thank you for doing that. And again, if your subscribe button is red, hit the subscribe button. Sign up. Be a subscriber to the channel. All right? So, folks, I got to go. Adios. Arrivederci. Ciao. Au revoir. Sayonara. Aloha. Salam. Shalom. Namaste. And just with going on in the world today, everybody love on somebody. All right? This is a good time where everybody just needs to love on somebody. Just do that. I think if we get a little bit more love in the world, we'll have a lot less of what happened yesterday in the world. All right? So adios. See you, folks. Peace. We're out of here.